Welcome to Specific Love. In a previous video I built this awesome gaming and piano desk for my son, but he also wanted me to create something to lift his case off the ground so that it could get better cooling and that it could be easily moved around. So I created this awesome, simple mobile cart that you can build for about $10. Let's begin. To build this cart, I purchased a simple mover's dolly from Harbor Freight and some scrap wood from a local home improvement store. The dolly alone included all 4 casters and some of the wood needed for about $8. I first removed all the labels and the carpet on the dolly to access the bolts holding the casters. These needed to be removed to change the width of the stand. Once the bolts were removed, I realized that the wood was still attached together. So I grabbed a crowbar and started to pry them apart, only to realize that there were some brad nails holding everything together. So I used some pliers and removed them as well. Now that I got this disassembled, I wanted to just kind of glance over the wood. The wood that is supposed to be hardwood, it appears to be decent quality, and we're definitely going to continue using those. The cross sections, well, it was some kind of a cheap plywood that is, well, it's kind of just falling apart. It's just barely moving my fingers across it. So this may just go in the scrap pile and, well, be thrown away. In any case, we have a good basis to start, so let's keep going. So I took some measurements of the computer case and started to transfer them over to the width of the wood needed for this build. I then gave all of the wood a quick sanding to remove any splinters and sharp edges. Using a carpenter square, I lined up all of the wood and then marked each of the holes with a scratch awl. I next drilled a pilot hole and then enlarged each hole to the needed size. To help keep everything aligned, I temporarily installed the screws and proceeded to mark and drill the second strip of wood. Once all of the casters were installed, I lined up a third strip of wood for each side. I then clamped each of these strips to the baseboard and flipped the entire structure over so I could drill a pilot hole and install a screw on each side. I then flipped the entire cart back upright so I could carefully remove a set of screws from each strip and countersink each of them to prevent any contact with the computer case. This step could be completed during the drilling process for quicker assembly. It was now time to install some side rails to prevent the computer from sliding off the sides of the stand. These can be made from some simple scrap wood as long as they are the full length of the cart. And to hold them in place, I used some 2-inch brad nails. I also added a back bumper as well. Giving the stand a quick test spin showed that everything was level and very functional. So I again went over the entire structure with some sandpaper to reduce any sharp edges. And I finally gave the entire stand a mahogany stain to help it match the desk. And the finished project turned out much better than I was hoping. And my son was very happy to accept the gift. Now if you enjoyed this project, make sure you click the like button and tell us what you think about it in the comments. I also have some other videos right over here that go along with this project, so make sure you check those out. Otherwise, have fun building.